Good morning. This is Kamera again. We're on day number 126, First Chronicles chapter 15 through 17. We're talking about the Ark of Covenant, the Ark of God. And in the previous book, 2 Samuel, we talked about it there as well. And it showed us what transpired. But in this book here, it gives us more details of getting that Ark of Covenant to the city of David. And so in the old book, the previous book, it told us how David tried, ran into a problem, and how he eventually got the Ark of God to the city of David. And this book, it shows us how he prepared this time. David actually took that. Remember, the Ark of Covenant was placed in Obed-Edom's. It was in his house. I think about that because it was in his house or on his property for 3 months. And it said that because the Ark of Covenant was there, Obed-Edom, his house was blessed. He was blessed. God blessed his home because the Ark of God was there. And so that need to give us some insight as far as, or help us to understand that it was the whole presence of God being there. That is why he was blessed. The Ark of Covenant was the presence of God. Okay, God was in that thing. And so David saw that and he was ready to go back and get the ark and bring it back. But you guys already know how David felt about God. Very sensitive to God. Loved God. Everything he did it for God. And so this time it shows us where he actually put some planning in. He called all of Israel and to Jerusalem. He called all the Levites and had a meeting with them. The Levites, the priests, all of them. Because he wanted to come up with a plan. How are we going to get this Ark of Covenant to the city of David? This dude, it actually shows even more details how he put that choir together. He was like, only the Levites can move this thing. So it shows us more details and what he did in preparing to get the Ark of Covenant back to this city of David. So I love the fact that it shows us a little bit more details. And once they got the Ark of Covenant there, they had a great celebration. Boy, David, he wore a white linen suit, the same as what the Levites wore. And he praised God. He danced and he just praised God. And says that his wife did not appreciate, she actually despised how he was praising God. Isn't that something? That's how people are. They don't understand your praise. They don't understand your praise. Sometimes people think you're a little extra, but you don't have to prove anything to them as long as God knows you're doing it for him. That's it. It's all about you and God. People don't understand that's on them. But I tell you what, because she showed contempt, God did not allow her to have children because of that. So be careful when a person is praising God that you don't criticize how they're praying God. You don't understand, let them go. That's between them and God. Make sure you have your praise on point with God, because it is that what pleases God. And praise God, blessings come down. And so I love the fact that David even appointed like worship leaders to bring the people into worship, to lead them into worship. They had a worship service for God. That was part of the celebration. And David gave everyone bread, gave them cakes of dates. He gave them bread and cake and dates and all of that. I mean, he just fed them as well. So that was an awesome thing as well. And so he gave God a praise. He actually had a praise dedication to God as well. It's in there. Just read it. Just talking about how thankful he was of God. And so we find in here as well. Remember Zadok and Abiathar. We knew that they were priests, but we see them having more input as well into what they had to do, which is pretty cool. You see more of how David assigned them to do certain things. Also Asaph again, on some of his duties as well. And so once everything was settled, David settled in his palace, he looks around and he's like, God has set me up pretty sweet, pretty nice. I'm living a good life. He done built extra rooms, extra buildings. He's living good, but he's feeling bad because one thing I failed to mention was that David had also had a tent built for the Lord as well. So when they bring the Ark of Covenant he'll be in that the Ark of Covenant, or God would be in that tent. But now David, everything is settled. David is just, being thankful for what he has. But he's like, but God is in a tent. So he has the heart to now build a tent for the Lord. And so he called the prophet Nathan, and prophet Nathan says, just do whatever's on your heart to do. But then he goes back and said, well, you know what? God told him, I have never told anyone or expect anyone to build me any place. I was found a tent because we were actually moving around a lot, so that kind of worked. But no one's ever really wanted to build a temple, and so God was very pleased with that. I mean, he was really pleased with where David was going. That David even considered him. He made a covenant with David and told David that his throne would be secure forever. He says, your son is going to be the one that made the temple, though, but your throne is going to be secure forever. And we already know the Judah kings, we already know they were there from beginning to end, always the lineage of David. But we also know that they went into exile. But get this, Jesus comes from that lineage of David. So his king, his throne will be secure forever through Jesus Christ. So there you have it. David give God's prayers of thanks again. And so, yeah, mainly about the Ark of Covenant and about the covenant God made with David. So guys, ask God to help you to understand his word, appreciate his word, love his word, find enjoyment in his word, and how to apply it in your everyday life. And, I love the fact that David was very faithful to God, how much he loved God. And so it would be nice to have that same love for God and to want to serve and please him as well. So those things, if you don't feel it, you ask God for it and he'll give it to you. So guys, that was day number 126. Chronicles chapter 15 through 17. You have a God-filled blessed day.